wonder why curly hair grows the way that it does? How it comes out of your scalp, curly, coily, maybe even wavy or zigzag? Well, today we're going to break down the science of curly hair. We're going to start with the basics, and then we're going to get into answering the internet's most asked questions. Let's get started. Welcome to What the Blush, where beauty meets science for real life solutions. I'm Chrissy J, licensed professional and your hair care bestie. My goal is to help you understand the truths about hair care in order for you to make the best decisions for yourself. In today's video, we're going to discuss curly hair so you can learn to love your hair and care for it with confidence. So starting with the basics, why is hair curly? It's all about the shape of the hair follicle. You have round follicles, oval shaped follicles, and elliptical shaped follicles. Depending on which follicle you're born with determines the type of hair that grows out of your scalp. Add in some keratin bonds, also called disulfide bonds, and your hair twists and turns into waves, spirals, or coils. Also keep in mind that genetics and hormones, and even the climate you live in, play a role in that too. Another most asked question is curl type. What is my curl type? So let's talk a little bit about curl type and where it came from. Curl type was created by a professional stylist in order to create a system in which to sell hair products. The lower the number, the straighter the hair. The higher the number, the tighter or the curlier the hair. So for example, you can have 1A hair, 2B hair, 3C, 4C, etc. However, you can't fit yourself into one small box or one small category of hair type, because you could have one curl type and one curl pattern in one side of your head, another here, another in the middle. So really there isn't one basket to place yourself into. So you really shouldn't pigeonhole your hair and what type it is, because it really is not a true deciding factor of what your hair, how your hair curls and what your type is. Ancestry is another key factor in curly hair. Depending on the climate zone that you live in or where your ancestors have come from, also plays a role in your curly hair. So for example, my ancestry is from the continent of Africa, where the climate is hotter, so the hair shrinks in which to protect itself. That doesn't mean that the hair is bad, or that doesn't mean that the hair is good. It just means that is how your genetics are going to pass down in which to create the beautiful head of hair that you have on your head. In colder climates, hair is less likely to stick to the scalp to stay protected, but be much more looser. And so over time, those genetics pass down as generations continue to grow and expand. If your ancestry, say, is of mixed races or mixed ethnicities, that's also going to play a role in how your hair comes out curly. And no two people are the same. You could have siblings in the same family with the same two parents and come out with two different heads of hair. Knowing that your hair is unique to who you are, similar to your fingerprints, is the beautiful part of your identity and who you are. Now let's get into basic hair care for curly hair. Oftentimes with curly hair, it can appear to be more frizzy, a lot drier, harder to manage or maintain, because here's what happens. When curly hair grows out of the scalp, the oils, natural oils from the scalp, have to travel down the strand of hair all the way to the end. Because the hair is curled, the oils have a harder time going from the scalp all the way to the ends of the hair. So it may appear that it's drier, but really what it needs is a little bit more moisture and a little bit more care and maintenance. So first and foremost, with maintaining curly hair, you want to make sure that you are shampooing and conditioning on a regular basis. Co-washing, as a professional, I don't offer co-washing service to my clients, because essentially what you're doing is cleansing your hair with conditioner. It's not actually shampoo. And what the shampoo does is it removes all the buildup of product, oils, dirt, debris that have grown onto the hair or have stuck to the hair, which may be causing the hair to be frizzy and dry. In your hair care routine, you also want to make sure that you're properly detangling the hair. Now, when you detangle, it's best to take like a wider tooth comb. You can even use your fingers as well. You want to detangle from the ends to the root. Never from the root to the end and sort of pull, because it's going to cause breakage, it's going to cause pain, and it really doesn't do your hair any benefit. So it's best to detangle from the ends, gently working your way up through the root. Now, the best time to detangle is when you are conditioning your hair. When the hair is wet, it is the most vulnerable and the weakest, but with the conditioner and the water, it creates a perfect opportunity for you to easily work through in smaller sections, especially if you have a lot of hair, a lot of more dense hair, working through, taking your time, and detangling the hair. This way, the conditioner can be worked all the way through. The shampoo can do its job all the way through because there's no obstructions keeping the buildup and what have you in the hair. You'll get a proper cleanse. Making sure also that you rinse, opening the hair up, rinsing the hair properly with your water when you're shampooing, rinsing every section so there's no bubbles, opening the hair and rinsing as well. The last step in your shampoo routine is to dry the hair. But what do you use when you dry the hair? Don't let it air dry. Never air dry your curly hair, because that can set you up for mildew of the scalp, hair loss, all sorts of problems. Makes the hair weak and frizzy. Always dry the hair either with a microfiber towel or regular towel. You can use a 100% cotton t-shirt to dry the hair, but never let the hair air dry. Now, let's get into styling. How do I style my curly hair? What products do I use? This really is a personal decision based on your routine, your lifestyle, and how much money you're willing to spend on hair products. I am not a proponent of spending a lot of money on hair products. Just because it's expensive doesn't mean that it's great. Just because it's cheaper doesn't mean that it's inferior or of bad quality. It's best to find what works best for you and your hair and stick to that routine. I like the less product, the better, because water really should be doing the heavy lifting in your styling routine. So there's mousse, which is liquid water based, that you can use. There's creams that you can use to style your hair, and then there's gel. It really depends on what is the end result that you're hoping to gain when you do your curly or your styling routine. I would not recommend layering all three, because it's going to cause you to have too much product on the hair and you're not going to get the desired result that you're interested in. So take your time in trying products. I don't have any endorsements or recommendations because I'm not sponsored. I will share with you on a later video products that I like and that I use in the salon. But again, I'm not sponsored, so I can't really recommend products for you to use. But some corporations or some companies will sell a travel size, which may be easier for you to purchase and try out on your hair to see if you like it or not. Now, after you use your products to set your curls, you must dry your hair. So you can use a hair dryer, open-ended, to dry the hair, or you can use a diffuser, which basically diffuses the air, so it's not directly applying air to your hair, but it opens it up and diffuses it in a way that allows the air to move, have a wider space of movement in order to dry your hair. Now, if you're using a diffuser and you're scrunching your hair, if your hair is prone to shrinkage, this may not be the best option in drying your hair. It's best to just sort of let it hover and dry as it is. You can use your fingers to sort of move it around a little bit while you're drying, in order to achieve the desired result. You can flip over and dry the hair. Most importantly though, is ensuring that the hair is dry behind the ears. You can open the hair, section it in a way, so that way your scalp is dry as well, because you don't want to leave the house with wet hair and end up with mildew or hair loss or frizzy hair. Another way that you can dry your hair is with a hooded dryer. Now, this is a professional hooded dryer, but they have some that sit on your tabletop or your desktop, and you can use that as well. It does really do the heavy lifting of the drying process because it can take some time. I recommend drying on medium to low heat and sort of a medium pressure or medium airflow, because what you don't want is to interrupt the curls as they set, because it will cause friction and create frizz. I hope that the information that I shared with you is helpful. If not, you can always leave questions in the comments below. I can create new videos based on information that you're looking for, because what I'm here to do, again, is to be your hair care bestie and help you on your journey to beautiful, wonderful hair. Now, let's get into some more frequently asked questions than the ones before. So, can curly hair turn straight? Yes. Curly hair can turn straight temporarily with heat or permanently with chemicals or hormonal changes. So if you're aging, if you're pregnant, if maybe you have an interruption in the endocrine system, if you have an autoimmune disorder, all of these things can impact your curly hair. Can curly hair get lice? Yes. Curls don't make you immune, but lice might have a harder time moving through thicker textures and more dense hair. Can curly hair get hair extensions? Yes, absolutely. Just match the curl patterns and protect your hair underneath. So you could get tape-in extensions, you could get micro-link extensions, you could get sew-in extensions. Just want to make sure that you're not pulling the hair too tight, because too tight can change the pattern of your hair. Too many extensions, too long extensions can also change the pattern of your natural hair.
It's flashing.
Oh, probably because the battery's about to die.
Oh.
I don't know.
Okay, keep going.
How should curly hair be cut? I cut curly hair in its naturally curled state. Every stylist is different. Every stylist has their own preference. If you're working with a stylist and you have a preference, it's best for you to have a discussion and consult with the person you're seeking professional services from. But I cut curly hair in its natural state, so that way I can see where the hair lives and how it's going to end up after styling and the final result. Well, so that's the end of the other additional most answered questions. If you have more questions, again, please leave them in the comment section below. I'm here to help you on your journey. Again, I'm Chrissy J, and thank you for taking time to check out What the Blush.